Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle discussion video today. Yes, another discussion video. Now, in today's video, I do want to be talking about the main issue that I have with Dokkan and the current state of the game. Now, let me say straight up that I think the current state of the game is actually pretty good. I think Dokkan is doing a really good job in terms of events, how fast they're putting out, like the pacing of cards. You can probably make an argument for how good they're making these cards. Maybe they're making it a little bit too good. For example, like the past 5 units have all had a guard, which I think is a little bit stupid because guard is one of the best things you can have on a unit. But that's all. I don't know. I don't want to say that's subjective or not, but you know that is subjective. So I think that's fine. I think the introduction of Chain Battle, for example, was really good because it is a different style of Dokkan to play. And I say that, but I have no issue with the orb game. Like, if they did it for the rest of Dokkan's life, it was just the orbs, like you just collect orbs, I have no problem with that. I really don't find it as repetitive as most people try to make it seem, because it's really just not a good argument when you say Dokkan's repetitive because all you do is collect orbs, right? But no, because again, you're excluding the fact that you have to fight different bosses. Those bosses have different techniques like stunning, sealing, locking rotations, right? They can heal, right? You have different rotations. You run different teams, right? There's different events, right? That's not repetitive, right? It's like you call that repetitive, but then you go play something. They'll go play FIFA. FIFA. That I don't think FIFA's repetitive, but that's the same concept. All you're doing is passing the ball around and shooting. Right, you see how stupid of an argument that is? That's one argument I don't like people saying. Like, oh, Dokkan's repetitive. That's such a subjective argument, right? Again, I don't find it repetitive. You can. But anyways, I didn't mean to go on around about that. Again, my final thought on that, it's not repetitive. I think people exaggerate that a lot because, I don't know, they're Legends player, they hate it. I don't fucking know why. Right, but I do think Dokkan is doing really good things. There are some small critiques before I get into the main one. One of the smallest critiques I have, it's not so much a small critique, but I think something they should change is the communication with the fan base. I think this is something that Legends does amazing. The way they, like, for example, the video and stuff that Dragon Ball Legends does. If you don't play Dragon Ball Legends, pretty much video and stuff is the producer of the game, I think, or the lead director or something like that, Toshi. He essentially calls in one of the or a couple of influencers. Like, the past few video and stuff have been Rhymestyle and Kagi. Kagi voices he's the voice of Charlotte in Dragon Ball Legends, and he's a pretty big YouTuber. He calls him in. Rhymestyle and Kagi will tell him the issues with the game. Toshi will show him some things like for example, when Vegito and Broly, and there was a Vegito that dropped, a transforming Vegito, and Chila and Broly that dropped, and those were revealed on that video and stuff like a week before. Right, so it's pretty fun, and Rhyme will tell him a question like, for example, Rhyme let him know Zenkai is trash. The way you farm up Zenkai souls is trash. It needs to be changed because it's not fun and nobody's gonna want to do it. And what happened? I'm not saying necessarily Rhyme himself was the reason they did it, but what happened later? They changed it, and now it's significantly easier to grind Zenkai souls. Like, it's not even close to how easy it is now compared to what it was when it first started. Right, like. It's crazy, right? But again, communication, especially with the people we look up to, the influencers, that is huge. And I think Dokkan doesn't do that at all. They don't communicate with their fan base. At Grand Cross, I'm pretty sure they have a sponsorship. Like, if you are a creator of Grand Cross, you can get a sponsorship. Like, I think D Monty has a sponsorship again with Grand Cross, which is that's close. That's good, right? Something a lot stuff along the lines of that, right? Now, I will say that Dokkan doesn't necessarily need to do it, and that's why it's such a small critique, because they are pretty good at listening, but there are a couple things that they're not listening to that we've been complaining about now for years, right? And that's what I am going to talk about in a bit. Now, is there any other small critiques that I can think of? There are, but it's nothing too big. Maybe make events, like Dokkan events, harder, like make another, what is it? Super 4, make a Super 4 or Super 5, whatever the hardest one is, make a harder one to make players like me have a harder time, right? Because I'm not saying I necessarily have the best account, but I do have a very good account, and It's easy. These events, I just fly through them, right? Except, obviously you have like a Super Battle Road, even the Dragon Ball History event. Like those events are hard, but I just want harder like Dokkan events, right? So it's just not like me just sitting there, I just tap, just like not even looking, tapping. That I'll give them, like that's kind of repetitive. Dokkan events, yeah, I'll give you guys that, right? Because usually I just tap with that. Okay, so I'll give you guys that, but other events no. Yeah, so those are the two. Those are the few small critiques. There are some more. I can't really think of them, but I do want to talk about. I actually have two big ones. I said I have one. I have two. The first issue I have, and I think this is like a red flag. If the issue is red flag, that means it needs to be changed ASAP, pronto, as soon as possible, whatever. It needs to. Next update needs to be changed, right? Oh, by the way, I do want to say the link update was amazing too. Like that link update was one of the best updates of all time in Dokkan history, right? Dokkan is doing a great job with updates. But anyways, red flag number one. There are two red flags right now. Red flag number one is actually the friend system. Now, I do think the friend system is pretty bad. And is a really easy fix. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I don't like when people say, "Oh, to fix the friend system, just add another rainbow friend." Right? Just add not a rainbow friend. Add a mirror, a copy of your lead, right? An exact mirror, which I think is actually stupid. I don't think that should be a thing, because a lot of the argument is, for example, if there's a mirror of your lead, same percentage, same SA, that's gonna promote more summoning, because you, I don't know why that would promote more summoning. That I'm not gonna be like, oh, I get a rainbow future Gohan if I do this, or a rainbow Turles. Fuck yeah, I'm summoning. I'm a fucking 100% this brand new Garlic Jr. so I can get the guaranteed 100% lead. No, I don't think that should be a thing, because that kind of just defeats the purpose of a friend system, right? What I do think they should do is put a mirror of the unit, but at 55% SA10, right? Or even, you know what they could do for like Super Battle Road and stuff? They do it SA10. But 0%, like just to run the team and the lead, right? And I do think it would be annoying to a lot of people, but I don't like the idea of people just getting the mirror exact copy of their unit. I don't like that idea. That kind of ruins the purpose of a friend system to me. A 55% SA10 friend lead, I think, is the move, because again, you can still get a rainbow friend, but you're always gonna have a good lead at that point, right? A good lead, right? For example, 55%. Let's say you can't find who can't you find in Future Gohan, right? Can't find a friend one, but you have a 55% one right there. Boom, that's good enough, right? You only have 55% one. Oh, you just found a 79%. Okay, run that one, right? You see what I mean? So I do think 55% is the move. I say 55%. Okay, so again, friend system is red flagged. That needs to be changed. And the second issue I have, and this is the one I think if someone said, what is the biggest problem right now in Dokkan, right, and how would you fix it? It's this. The categories in Dokkan. The categories in Dokkan are really bad. I think the issue with Dokkan is the inconsistencies of the categories and the straight up like incompetence of how they make these categories, right? It started off small. Like, it was small problems that led up into such a big thing. It started off with, like Goku and Vegeta, the 3-year anniversary LRs not being on Pure Saiyans, and then they proceed to put like Broly and Paragus on Pure Saiyans. That's the same exact concept. Same exact concept. 2 Pure Saiyans right there, right? They should be on Pure Saiyans and they weren't, and people did give them flack for that, right? Like Count Caulifla on Pure Saiyans, but those Goku and Vegeta aren't. Right? Small little issues like that, right? And then it started to really become an issue, I think, when there was blatant, obvious candidates for, not even fucking candidates, like must have units on categories that weren't on categories, right? For example, LR Krillin isn't on Explosion of Anger. Is that what it's called on Global? Explosion of Anger. Why? Literally, this is how it was. Saiyan Saga. If you haven't seen the anime, I read the manga. Saiyan Saga. Let me remind you. There were a bunch of Cybermen. They were bodying the Z Fighters. Kind of. Yamcha goes in, bodies one Cyberman. Cyberman comes back, blows up Yamcha. What does Krillin do? He sees Yamcha's been blown up. See the veins popping out. of his head. Kills every Cyberman in one Kamehameha. How is that not explosion of anger? How is that not explosion of anger? He's pissed. He just killed all his Cybermen at once, right? That he needs to be explosion of anger, and it's also not only that, but someone like LR Full Power Frieza. Do I even need to say why Full Power Frieza needs to be on explosion of anger? Do I need to? Like that's no, I don't. If you've seen the anime or read the manga, you know, like that's like the epitome of anger, right there, right there. A monkey is beating him, right? A monkey is embarrassing him. He needs. Oh my god, that one. Those two are the main ones that pissed me off, and also something like LR Gohan isn't on revenge. I think that's an issue with the game. In total, is like, again, like I said, LR Gohan isn't on revenge. I think he needs to be on revenge. There's inconsistency with that category. What makes that category, right? There's nothing that really says that category. There's nothing that differential that pulls them together, right? People say like, oh, they lost the fight, but then they came back to win, right? Okay, then why is LR Baby in the fight, right? Why is LR Baby in the category? I mean, and why is God Goku not? Right? The LR God Goku, why are they not? You see what I mean? Revenge is a really bad one. That's a personal one, because Bardock is my favorite character, so that's a personal one that you fucked up Bardock's category, right? I think the main issue stems from how they name the categories with this part of the categories. Like revenge, it implies that someone who wanted revenge, right? Explosion of anger, someone who got pissed off during the fight, right? It's the issue. If you're gonna name it revenge, then make sure you have everybody who wanted revenge on that category. Again, Gohan, right? The same thing for, like, I don't know if transforming Goku. I'm pretty sure he's not. Right, the STR Super Saiyan one. You know, the one that transforms into Super Saiyan after seeing his best friend die and gets so mad at when he sees his best friend getting blown up that he goes to beat Frieza's ass as Super Saiyan. You know that one. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that one, right? And also they're putting out these minuscule categories that nobody gives a fuck about, like special pose. Why is that even in the game, bro? Special pose, really? It almost seems like they're being forced to set out these categories by somebody, but nobody wants them to, right? Like, nobody wanted special pose, nobody wanted rapid growth, right? I think instead what they should do to fix this is just focus on just revamping old categories consistently, such as World Tournament, Majin Buu Saga, Peppy Gals. Peppy Gals and World Tournament don't have a lead. Majin Buu Saga's lead sucks, right? Make more leads for different types. For example, a new Realm of Gods lead for Extreme Class. The Masu doesn't fit the cut, right? I'm sorry. Another one. Who else? I guess another special pose lead or something like that, right? And I don't know, man. Planet Namek Saga, right? Goku doesn't work the best on that team. Namekians, right? There's so many categories that need to be revamped that I think they should do that instead of just making new categories. Because the Dokkan, they don't need to be forced. They're not forced. I don't think they're forced to put out these consistent new categories every single time, right? So again, I think categories, the inconsistency of what they put on the categories and the minuscule categories they put out, I think is the main issue with Dokkan right now. That's my opinion on the main issues with Dokkan. My name is Ricky Spam, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy, everybody.